I get asked this one a lot locally. Not globally, but locally. I get asked this question a lot. How is it that I can start with a joke and run with it to competitive play? Now, I want to note this right off the top. My success level is practically non-existent. I have been successful in a couple of tournaments, but in the grand scale of things, I've done okay at best at Heroclix. I don't make games easy for anybody, but I don't win big prize tournaments. My biggest winning moment, I believe, or my biggest winning moments have been 2 WKOs and Quebec States. Quebec States had a fairly low turnout as far as states level tournaments are concerned, and the WKOs I won were in the 20s. I felt pretty good about those, but they were also sealed, and I can definitely say that the sealed pulls that I got in one of them, I had a chase. That a lot of people define that as a pretty big important thing. I also rolled fairly well in the final game of that. My other team, it just played and synergized particularly well, and I had some really good matchups for it. So when people ask me why my nonsense makes it into competitive play, this is going to be the first time I think I've ever come up with a cogent explanation for it. And it is the idea that a joke is a touch of reality taken to its unnatural extreme. And when I say that, I am of course referencing my nonsense build that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. The Tribble, the Hella, the Hand Daredevil, and the Black Panther. Pure bonkers bananas is nonsense that makes no sense. But I have taken the idea of making a character, making another character, and making another character, and then making more characters with those characters. I have taken to an unnatural extreme in this case. And that's what happens, is I take a joke and I run with it. It happened with my police team. I made a police team. Ha ha ha. Let's use the Central City police captain because he makes it a name theme team. Ha 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 ha. Oh, Banshee's police. Rocky Raccoon's a police. Cerise's police. Some of these characters are pretty good. Started as a joke, took it to the natural extreme of let's go with the extreme police. Let's go with silly police. Is what ended up happening in that case. In this case, it was make a character. What can I do with that character? Well, it's going to die. So how can I capitalize on it dying? Well, I can make Warrior Soul tokens. Originally, this idea started with Hades from Superman Wonder Woman. And it was in a 400-point tournament. Now, if I was going to take this team into a 400-point tournament, I would add Belphegor. Without hesitation. Without hesitation, Belphegor would go in there. And that takes my already unnaturally ridiculous solution to another unnaturally ridiculous extreme. And that's generally how I come up with this nonsense. Is much like a joke, my teams come out of any actual successful team comes out of an idea taken to an unnatural extreme. And it's very evident when you look at what is successful and you think to yourself, well, why is that? Well, it took this and this and this, and then did this with it. And that's kind of been the thing with resources. We took figures who look at face value like, okay, that's pretty okay. If only it had, oh, this resource adds it. Let's put that in there. And so that's taking an idea, this character, and taking it to an unnatural extreme, this resource. That is successful play. That's why so many of my nonsense jokes get pushed to levels and then just become things. So, long and the short of it, this is kind of my thought process on it. And this is going to be a fairly short episode because this was just the idea of building teams competitively is the idea of taking an idea, and just pushing it as far as it can possibly go and maximizing the possible potential out of it. You take a real thing, you make it to an unnatural extreme. It's like telling a joke. And then what ends up happening in this case is you take a character was particularly good, oh, this character is good. But if I had this, 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 and this, it is really good. And you get a chuckle out of it at first. And then, you know, some people who aren't so good with the losing will complain about it. Well, that's their damn problem, to say the least. So, anyway, that's kind of a thought process I want to put in everybody's head, and see how people can run with that. So, that's right, guys. Take a joke and run with it. See what happens to your competitive play. Or just take a figure and run with it. And see how ridiculous things get. And you start to get the idea of how competitive players start to think. On that note, guys, that was a good idea to push. And this is a good exercise to get some practice in, because practice will make your team better.